Oh, Gene. Yeah, we're here.
We have a show today to talk about. And, I know you have a great IT mind, and I have a great interest in cryptocurrency. And the two put together, maybe we can have some good arguments throughout the show. What do you think?
Yeah, absolutely. Go for it. Tell them what. Okay, Gene has studied, profusely the subject of cryptocurrencies. I've also been studying over the last several months. She's definitely the queen of some of the cryptos. So, Gene, let us have it. Tell us what's going on. What is a cryptocurrency? What is the whole thing? Tell us what's going on.
I'm the queen, but the first thing I want to say is I am the astrologer, and I have discovered, and I've told you in past shows that this is the year, the rest of 2017, all the way through 2018, to invest in these things that will bring a return. And the reason why is because in America's chart, Jupiter's in Scorpio. In the third house, you might look at cryptocurrency because the mental side is brought into play where money is concerned. Crypto is internet money, so to speak, kind of. And you can put it on your thumb and hide it from everyone, and it doesn't have to go in the bank. And you can spend it almost everywhere. Many companies, more and more throughout the world, are taking Bitcoin and Ethereum and Litecoin, which are my three favorites, the three omegas.
Omegas. That's funny.
Where I get this from, my favorite person in this field so far is Cliff High, who supposedly has an IQ of like 200 something crazy. A really, really smart guy. But he's an IT guy. And I have been studying his material because he uses this bot method.
Yeah.
And I'm an astrologer, which I'm using, I'm like looking for energy and how it's flowing down the pipeline. And in a way, he is too. You want to explain that, Arthur, a little?
Yeah, he's using something called predictive linguistics. And basically what this is it's a series of algorithms that scan over the internet, and it looks for specific words. Okay, there's like seed words, and then there's emotional charges associated with those seed words. So then by looking at these and running them through an algorithm, he's able to identify, I guess you would say, patterns. And if you think of, like, say, the internet as kind of a mass consciousness, because everybody, like kind of the brain of everybody working together, they're texting, they're doing YouTube videos, they're doing, their whatever, anything is going across this, their Facebook, their social media, their photographs, everything else. If you take that all into accumulation, patterns start to emerge. So he's developed something he calls predictive linguistics that allows you to kind of scrape through all that data and then kind of look for patterns and look for associated emotional charges in these patterns. And it's proven to be extremely effective. He's done quite well with this. There's also a couple other projects out on the internet that also do this, something called the Merlin Project as well, with a group of other people who are doing it. So you may have heard these kind of things, but Cliff uses a lot of this predictive linguistics, he calls it, which is really interesting. I think it's fascinating, actually.
Well, I love it because I love astrology, and it's like, anytime you can take a set of numbers and apply it to energy, or emotional energy, physical energy, mental energy, etheric, inspirational energy, and create a mindset and show a graph of what's going to happen with that energy. It's awesome. That's what astrology is basically mathematically deciding what's happening. So when I look at America's chart, and that's what I use to apply the mass influence of money and how it's going to occur in America. I look at the America's chart, April 30th, 1789 at 1:30 p.m. New York. That's where we actually became America. And why is that, Arthur?
That's when George Washington, the founding president of our great United States, took his first oath of office. And so that initiated the spiral of the United States of America right at that point.
And
so
what
you can
better,
think of that as a birth.
And what better man, because he's like the king of the economy in a way.
Oh, wait, Gene. But a point to that, do you know where he actually took the oath of office?
Where?
Right across the street from Wall Street. It was on Wall Street, right across, right across
wow.
from the New York Stock Exchange, where it's located now. Isn't that amazing?
Did we have that tall of a building back then?
No, it was on there. Actually, you can go there, and they've saved a railing from the building that actually was there, and there's a little museum, and you can actually visit it. It's right across the street from the New York Stock Exchange, and it's interesting that we're talking about currencies and the founding of the beginning of America right there in New York.
Well, this is my favorite chart to use for America when George signed the papers and made us the real deal. And so what I want to do is direct the fact that Jupiter is in Scorpio, and for every man, woman, and child in America, this is very important. It is your time to make a capital return. I don't care if you're a socialist. I don't care if you're a communist. It is time for a capital return, meaning that you need to have money in your pocket no matter what you believe in. And Jupiter's in Scorpio, and that is the time to expand because 1,300 Earths can fit into Jupiter. And in Scorpio is a sign that rules joint finances. Now I'm taking this a step further. Pluto, the planet that rules Scorpio, or one of them, is in the 5th house of investments in America's chart. So it is a year of investments. This is why you've seen Wall Street go so crazy since Trump took office, is because this Jupiter in Scorpio has gained momentum, especially, in the last year, but now closer to October 10th, it actually crossed over into the sign itself. So there's what's called an orb of influence, and then there's the influence as it gains momentum. Now, cryptocurrency falls right under this umbrella of, capital gain. And all of us need to be thinking about learning what that is, because I believe the millennials are very strong behind it, and they do things different. And they want not to be tied to the banks. They don't want to have to answer to anyone. So this is really valuable because this takes the criminals in the banking system and the Federal Reserve and everywhere out of the equation and gives it back to the people. So it's worth it for you to look into it to see what it is. And also, I would encourage an investment of gold and silver so that you have something you can put your hands on and then something you can put your thumb drive into, where your system is concerned with Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Litecoin. Let me say that again. Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Litecoin. Those are the three amigos. Those are the three most powerful attention getters right now, but there's a million of them coming out of the woodwork. Now, Bitcoin is being used on a lot of merchants' websites, so you're able to shop all kinds of places all over the world with Bitcoin now, and it's a revolution. It's a revolution in money to get us back to the flame of freedom where we belong. Now, I want to do a step-by-step beginner's lesson on how you can get into Bitcoin, how you can buy Ethereum, how you can buy Litecoin, and where it's the safest. As far as I know, there's only one company in America that is American in this industry right now. There may be more, but the one that is solid and you can depend on it is called Coinbase. So you want to go into Coinbase and set yourself up, make yourself legitimate, because this is real trading. This is real investments. And this can make you some real money. The first month I was in there, I made almost $3,000 without even blinking, the first couple of days, and you can just take a few dollars. If you don't have any money, it's okay. Put $10 in once a week. Buy yourself a piece of silver once a week too. That's another $20. Just have that set aside for you so that you can make it should the economy collapse, which I do believe America's chart shows that the banking systems are in big time trouble. So you need to think of an alternative way to have money in your pocket. And I think cryptocurrency, gold and silver, and maybe even real estate are the ways. So if you can't do all of those, just do one of them. And so cryptocurrency is the one. And you guys all know me out there, so I'm glad to do a beginner's course on what I've learned in this world on another show. And if you want to get involved in this, and I'll put it on YouTube, and hopefully Cliff High and all those great, brilliant minds will hear it and then come in and tell me exactly what I need to know better. Because it's a learning curve, and You're an IT person, Arthur. What do you think? I mean, it's like there's so much to know.
Well, Cliff's got a good tool. I mean, it's obvious that Cliff has a good tool. There are some other folks that have a lot of experience that have also dived into cryptocurrencies, and we're seeing a lot of these people come up and give their offerings. And so I know that there's some other groups like Palm Beach Research. They're also involved in it, and various other different places where you get some real understanding. And what I want to say about this to back up Jean is it does not take a lot of money to get involved in trading of this. I mean, we're talking, she's not kidding. You can open up an account with $50 and then you can trade $20, $30, $40, something like that. Save your pocket change, because after a couple of weeks you may have worked yourself up to $20 or something like that. And then when you get one of these accounts, Coinbase acts as a brokerage. And what's interesting about the cryptocurrencies is, unlike a dollar, where regular money is called fiat money, and so basically what that is that piece of paper that you send around as a note, and it basically says that when I transfer this to somebody else's hands, that's basically an IOU. And what it is it's a piece of paper that represents an IOU that the other person owes you $1. So when you drill down into the bottom of this, you find out that our economy is really on shaky ground, because all we're doing is passing paper back and forth. Now, the Bitcoin concept is very interesting, because all of it is encrypted. So every single transaction that is done is encrypted at a very high encryption level. So it's like this ledger that's all over the internet with these transactions going back and forth. But they can't get to you because you have a wallet. And if you have a wallet like your thumb drive that Gene's talking about, all your transactions are right there. And they're right there in your little database that you carry around with you. And so it's a fascinating concept. So now the banks are seeing this, and the banks are saying, whoa, I want to get in on this. So now we're starting to see large corporations like Google. We're starting to see large corporations like Microsoft and some others like IBM, major banks, Bank
all the
of
bad
America,
guys.
And they're seeing what's going on because of this has been generated. Now it's really our time to be able to have some of these gains. And I really think that's a good idea, Gene, that you have some kind of an intro course to this and show people basically how you do it. And you are going to probably need a bank account. And if you have a bank account, which is your own bank account, and then when you trade these things, it's actually a lot of fun. But let me add one other thing. What's interesting about this is like, if you think about it, is an exciting period. What I'm seeing in here is I'm seeing something that has not heretofore ever been done. This is kind of like back in the 1930s and the 20s when all these inventors came up, the Edisons and the Fords, and they came up and decided and figured out ways to make things like the phonograph and all this that you just didn't know where the next big break was going to be coming from. These cryptocurrencies are in that same period right now. It's in a period where they are drilling down and coming up with the best that they can possibly come up with for a digital currency method of exchange back and forth. And what's interesting about this is we can get in it. It's not some kind of a hidden thing. Gene is absolutely right. It's available to us to be able to take these gains. Then if you feel more comfortable, you can take your gains and you can move them to something like gold, silver, and everything else. It's fascinating. Gene, I'm just totally stoked about the whole thing. I think it's just...
Well, just having a little bit of everything is a comfort, because we do have to survive here on Earth. It's wise to be prepared because we do have some things that are developing in the realm of foreigners and America and our homeland and our need to create a barrier or some sort of protection for ourselves. And of course, when you've got money, that's the first barrier. You're covered in a way because you can buy the things that you need to do to take care of yourself at every other level. So this is a time of thinking survival. If the system as it is does collapse, which I do believe the astrology shows that we are definitely going in a brand new curve. And it is interesting. Somewhere along the line, I heard that the Bilderbergers the Rothschilds, all those, richy people who really run the money are looking at this very seriously.
Yeah.
First they were trying to stop it, and now they're trying to support it. So I'm like, when I heard that the Bilderbergers were getting involved in the Bitcoin, because they're seeing it, right now it's at $7,900. It started at $1. If you would have bought one at $1 a Bitcoin, which is not really a coin, it's just money in cyberspace or on your thumb drive, you'd be a millionaire right now,
They were
like
actually,
I said,
they were actually less than $1 when it first started. It was a fraction of $1.
I know.
I mean, it's amazing.
That's why I'm scooping up Litecoin right now, because it's really cheap to get into. It's like a $67 right now. And each, I don't know if each is the proper number, but, you buy a percentage into the coin. So in the realm of Bitcoin, that's the big thing. That's the king of it all right now. Bitcoin is...
Well, it's definitely the thing. Yeah, it's definitely the thing that broke the mold. I mean, just set the stage for it. There were some issues related to Bitcoin in the beginning, but it's very interesting because there are according to what they say about the process. I mean, it's interesting how all this works. You got to be almost a technical kind of guy to really understand, physically how all this is actually handled. But
not true, because I'm not a technical person except for in the realm of charting numbers through astrology and figuring out the cycles that we're facing. But
no, I'm talking about how it actually.
The more I study this, I know. The more I study this, the more I'm starting to understand algorithms. I'm starting to understand the tech side of it, because I'm saturating myself in this knowledge, which is what you want to do as a person who's investing. You want to and it may take a month or 2 or 3 to start getting used to the words like miner and like what are some of the words I want to throw at you?
Transactions, positions. It marries some technology along with market terminology. So, buying and selling.
Well, so
yes,
miners are people that what miners do is for Bitcoin, they're secured by individuals called miners. Bitcoin is secured by individuals called miners who generate Bitcoin for verifying transactions. And after it's verified, it's recorded in the public ledger. You'll hear these terms like public ledger, where everything goes, and then it gets lost in a mass of numbers. So you'll hear
blockchain. That's another one.
Blockchain, yeah, blockchain. I'm trying to think of all the different words there are. There's so many, and so they start becoming familiar. The more you put yourself out there listening. I need to tell you, though, there are some scams, and there are some big scams where people are losing money in this area because there's some dark people who see and want to capitalize on a moment to steal from you. So you have to be smart. There's a thing called BitConnect. I've been told that they are a scam, and they've got so many people coming in and investing right now, and people don't even know it, because what they're doing is they're allowing your investment to come in, and then they use it, for the next person's, when they withdraw. And there's just this balancing of the ledger, so to speak. Well, eventually that's going to catch up with them, because they're not really a coin. They shouldn't be, doing this, apparently. Okay. Now, this is according to Cliff High. Now, I may not have described this exactly the way that it's working, because I, too, am studying and learning the language a little better. But you might check out Cliff High. He's got a brilliant mind, and he's been 80% accurate on everything, which that's about as accurate as you can get with astrology, because people have free will choice. You can feel the energy, you can predict the subject being activated, but free will choice is the the turning point, because somebody can take the high road or the low road of astrology just simply because they know it. So he's got a website, Cliff High, halfpasthuman.com. halfpasthuman.com. Go get some of his reports, and the one in particular, Crypto Storm, which is the forecast for November through December. Now, this report is $99, but I tell you what, it's a well-spent $99 if you understand what you're getting into, because he describes the cryptocurrency that's a red flag and the ones that are absolutely look at them closer and make money off of them. And excuse all my ums. Boy, I thought I had that one conquered. You've never heard me say, for a long time, have you, Arthur?
No, you have done very well with it. But and with the miracle of technology, we may even be able to remove some of those.
Oh, I hope so, because those ums are just like bubble gum, You don't want them on the radio mic.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that's my 2 cents on Cliff High, and I really, really think that you should look at him and check him out and take the time to educate yourself beyond him. There's other people that are very honorable in this field, and how I got into it is the fact that I knew an IT person who I also run things by to see if he agrees with what I hear from Cliff High, and I'm so grateful I know him, because he's just keeps me balanced, because I'm going off like a rocket. I just want to buy every single solitary crypto that I see, the new one, the Vertasium now. That's a new up and coming that, oh my gosh, you'll become a millionaire if you get into this right now. Things like that, I just want all the new ones that are coming forward. But the one thing that I want to kind of put into everybody's mind, heart, and soul is to be practical. And those that have proven themselves to be legitimate so far, for sure, is Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Litecoin. So if you can get involved in those 3 coins, you're doing well. Now, there are a million other coins that you can invest in and only use $1 or $2, $3 to, get locked into it. And those will make you money, and those will be a great return. But do your homework. Find out for sure if it's a legitimate coin. And we could actually go down the line in the name of coins right now off of this thing that Cliff High did. And I give him total credit. I hope he's not going to be mad at me for, telling you all the coins that you want to look at. But Veritasium is number 1. Uno, gonna go off like a rocket. There's do you want me to just name them all? Should I? Yeah, I probably should. Okay, here we go.
That's going to change.
We have Bitcoin, Dash, Ethereum. We have Litecoin, NEO, OMG, Omisco, Populous, Ripple, Spectra All, Vertasium, Vertcoin, Sovereign Tokens, Metals Space, Dirt Space, Debt Space. Some of those names are kind of weird, but, the millennials, they're a new mind.
That's for sure. It's in a flux. It's in a state of flux. The market is in a state of flux. I can tell you for absolute certainty that I'm more excited about any kind of investing than I ever have been in my entire life under this type of circumstance. Now, there are some...
Well, you know why, don't you, Arthur? It's because Jupiter's in Scorpio. And it's just, it's like busting open the money so everybody can have a chance instead of just the selfish billionaires and millionaires who don't share and don't want the little guy to have any success whatsoever. Yeah, we get the chance now to put some money in our wallet. By golly.
Okay. Yeah, I get the idea. Just, you have to understand, though, things are in a state of flux. And one of the things about making money on a market or some kind of a movement of anything, be it cryptocurrency, be it gold, be it silver, be it commodities, be it, stock options, it's all in movement. So if there is a movement of the market, either up or down, depending on what's going on, you can make money off the change or the movement of that market. Now, cryptos, the best thing is that what's so attractive is it's easy to get in, and it doesn't take a huge investment. Now, even Bitcoin, which is at $7,000, you can buy fractional parts. And so You don't have to go full out and say, well, I'm going to go ahead and buy 500 Bitcoins. Well, you can't, but you could start with $20. And what is interesting about it is
and you'll be $100 in one day.
Exactly.
You'll go from 20 to 100 in one day. Hey, I got to say this.
What?
The biggest and most important thing in America's chart that's happening right now is transiting Uranus, which is the planet of surprise, excitement, electricity, and it rules the technical world big time, is exactly conjunct Mercury, which rules the mind and the thought processes that are being put into all of this that we're talking about. November 14th through February 27th, it is conjunct in the 8th house of joint finances. People, listen to me. You need to be investing right now, and you've got till February. If you don't get on this bandwagon, you're going to miss out, and we all need money. So please listen and hear me well.
All right, let me make a comment about that. Gene, I'm absolutely behind Gene on this 100%. The thing about the dark forces that have controlled our planet is they control us by controlling the money. So what that happens is you lose power if somebody controls your money. So money, unfortunately, because we're in the physical plane, requires...
Cha-ching, cha-ching.
Yeah, cha-ching, cha-ching. Money in the physical plane is required to be able to do anything, to buy your bread, to get your car washed, to get your teeth fixed, to get anything else that we have to do. It requires
we know
money.
That, Arthur.
No. I mean, here's the deal. So these dark forces have controlled the money supply for a long period of time, and if we have an opportunity to be able to move it, now's the time to hit it. So, and here's the other thing too. Do your spiritual work. Do your spiritual work on this. Make sure that you make those calls to be guided and directed to where you need to go. And what we're saying
that's where I was going to go next.
Now is the time. Now is the time. It's the cycle for it. Now is the time. Now is the time. So, there we go. So what were we going to say about the spiritual work?
Well, before I ever invest, for the most part, I'll make a little call to my angel. And there is a couple of angels that you can call to in Ascended Masters. One's Fortuna, goddess of supply. Fortuna, goddess of supply. Fortuna is an amazing, beautiful lady that carries this great big cornucopia of gold. And she pours it upon all mankind to help us to have the abundant consciousness. We are so used to being the poverty consciousness because we've been spending our whole life having money withheld and, the pressure of paying your bills continually. And it's almost like we're traumatized by the money thing. But these angels will come into your consciousness if you call them, and they will help you expand your mind and be more generous and giving. And I tell you, it is a figure eight flow. When you give, you get. So if you want to help someone else invest, give them $10 too, and you may find a return in your own personal world, because everything you send out comes back like a boomerang. So be sharing, be giving, being expansive. That's what Jupiter, the biggest planet in the solar system, rules all of us to do with the economy. And believe me, between now and February, you get on this bandwagon, you're probably going to thank your lucky stars. They aren't lucky. It's just a cycle where we have a window of opportunity to become wealthy individually and collectively. And we're already seeing it in the realm of, since Trump's taken office, nothing, the Wall Street's gone crazy.
All right. And if you don't feel like you have something, individually, get together with your friends. Pool your resources.
Yeah.
And keep track of it, on a piece of paper or a ledger or an Excel spreadsheet. And then, basically make sure that you record all your transactions. And then
here's a fun little call you can make. All right, here's what I think we should do. Fortuna Goddess of Supply is awesome to call, and you can make specific calls to that particular Ascended Master on what it is you need, how much money you need, for what bill, et cetera, et cetera. But the decree to really do every day and really focus. Call to Fortuna, say something like, in the name of Almighty God, I call to Fortuna Goddess of Supply to hear me well as I say, offer up this energy to you. And it goes like this. I am free from fear and doubt, casting want and misery out, knowing now all good supply ever comes from realms on high. I am the hand of God's own fortune, flooding forth the treasures of light, now receiving full abundance to supply each need of life. So say that over and over again. And I tell you what, the return will be great. And then you can also make fiats like, I am, the resurrection and life of my finances in the U.S. economy. And I do it like, I put a lot of energy into it, and I'll go like this. I am, the resurrection and life of my finances in the U.S. economy. I guess that's, if you can do stuff like that, send out the energy of love, the return will be abundance. Don't you think so, Arthur?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And
there's a pause there.
Yeah. Anyway, Jean's absolutely right about this. One of the core understandings of our lack of finances is, at the core of it, fear and doubt. And by giving this decree, or giving this, worded energy back up to the Ascended Masters, they can help us to transmute that within our own consciousness. So it's time for us to be abundant.
You got to call your favorite. You
Yes.
can call for your favorite angel too, and just send that little poem up, because in your innocence is your inner sense, and the inner sense is the connection to your higher self and to Almighty God. From there, and I tell you what, Almighty God wants us all to be wealthy at the physical level, at the mental level, at the emotional level, and at the spiritual inspired level. He wants us to have the abundant life. So money is part of that.
Absolutely. Yep. And so for many lifetimes, we haven't allowed ourselves, but now it is our turn. So
Yep.
Let's go.
Change your attitude, invest in crypto, and study it. Study Cliff High, study all that you can about silver and gold. The one thing I want to wrap up this show with a thought about silver, because we're going into cryptocurrency and the computer and the technology is so dominant and becoming more and more all. I think silver, which hasn't moved much in the last 20 years, I think it went up to 40 and then came back down to 20. I think it's something that everybody is going to really, really find there's a shortage of. And when there is a shortage of a commodity, guess what happens? The price goes up.
Yep.
So I do believe that's going to happen with silver, according to the astrology, and precipitated sunlight, gold. It always holds a value, no matter what. No matter what the value is, it always has some sort of value. So it's important to have some of that put away. Have your little treasure chest. Go buy a little teeny treasure chest and start putting things in it.
Good advice. The other thing is the cryptos can also be converted to gold and silver. So
right.
And it can be done through exchanges. So one of the strategies would be to get some gains on the cryptos and convert them to gold and silver.
Yeah, but I don't think you should necessarily keep it on the computer. I think you should have your backup. Bring your gold and silver home to you. There is a company I've been using a little bit, sdbullion.com. That's where I get my gold and silver, because I think their prices are reasonable, and because there's a spot on it. And if somebody else can beat their price, call me, because not that I have lots of gold and silver or ability to buy it because it's so expensive, but I try to buy myself a little piece of silver every week, kind of tithing to myself, put it under my pillow. But I also have a great big Glock. If you come near my pillow, you gotta pay the price.
Yeah. One last comment. Did you hear Sarah Palin's comment about somebody had asked her if she had ever been sexually harassed?
Yeah. What'd she say?
She said something to the effect of they know that I'm packing, meaning that she carries a gun. So
that's what I'm trying to tell you people, out there. So not that I have a lot of money you'd probably do better to find someone else, but nonetheless, I believe in that. Is that the Second Amendment? I live in Montana. We all have our guns.
Time to do our homework.
Yeah. Well, we have lions and tigers and bears. We have to protect ourselves anyway, because we have wildlife that doesn't give a mercy when they see you coming. Anyway.
All right. Time to roll.
Okay. It was fun. I hope you will listen more for cryptocurrency from Jean and Arthur, and hopefully we'll do a beginner course real soon, like in the next week.
Absolutely. Everybody, thank you, and we will see you. Oh, spread the word. Please spread the word out there. We want to get this word out to everybody. Share, like, subscribe. Do it, please. We need you
And
to
text
do
us. Text me, call me, book a chart, see where your money is in your personal astrology. That's very important to know. There is a time to invest, and there's a time where you don't. You want to watch that moon. And a good example, I got to say this quickly, a good example is when you look at a graph of, like, for instance, what Bitcoin's doing. You'll see it go up and down every 5 minutes, every 3 minutes, every 2 minutes, every 1 minute. You can actually do that on your chart to see where you are and if it is the time to press the button or not. So please look into that. Investments are my cup of tea. I love doing penny stocks. I love doing the moment-to-moment investments based on your time, date, and place of birth.
All right. This sounds good. Okay,
Okay,
call
Arthur.
Gene. All right. We'll see you later, and I'm going to be calling you right away anyway because I'm going to put some money in, so you can let me know where I can.
406-599-3934. Bye.
Can you do that again, please?
406-599-3934.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Let Jean do an astrology consultation for you, your family, or your friends. Go to astrologyjeanhart.com or give her a call or text her at 1-406-599-3934. There are powerful spiritual tools available to help you deal with planetary and personal challenges, and these can be found at prophecyisgiven.com. And be sure to visit our website at thetrekupwardradioshow.com or stop by on Facebook at www.facebook.com/trekupward, and be sure to hit like on our page, or visit YouTube and search for the Trek Upward Radio Show. Be sure to subscribe so you do not miss another episode of the Trek Upward Radio Show. The Trek Upward Radio Show is a studio at 5,600 feet production.